Start again. So what we're talking about here is the Yisbor Tam Lama Yeshud Alas Amamin Tavis. And so why are there 11? Why shouldn't there be any number? So Hakavanot shel Echad Asis Minis Simonim, Echad Asis Amamin Mischalkim, they get divided up in a certain way. So he said, "Ofen shachasar mini simonim hem eser spheros hamachayim esakali." The 10 spheros, the way I understand it, that give life to the kali, swallowed into the kali, besod oros benimium, and they're the secret of inner lights. V'yeshlu gam nitzutz echad kadosh, but there's another one which is also a bit of kedusha, shuhu or hamakiv, who gam machaya esakali, and also forms the same function. It also shines life, I guess is the right word, into the kali from the outside. It doesn't get divided up. There's some kind of a principle working here. Because in the inner light, there's 10 spheres. Raku or makif echad bilvad, but it's only one light of a makif. The fee, according to that, havatam lezel hu or hamakif hu rak or echad pashut is just one simple light. He said the omed bechutz lekelim, which is standing outside of the kli, which is talking about the kli of the klipa, and it's not surrounded by them. And then it's chalek l'sar, so therefore you don't have to divide it up into 10. Or hamakif who rak or echad belvad lo asar olos. So somehow being inside causes the light to divvy up. Nimsa shehem echad asa oros, so it comes out therefore that there are 10 lights plus 1. That's the 11 lights. A kol of them aser oros benimim, which have 10 lights on the inside, or echad makif, v'yachtov hein mitzarfin l'kiyos echad asa oros, and put them together, and you get 11. So now we're going to a new section. Let's read the top first. He says, "Bir heichon ramozim yod alas amamin in b'pasuk." How do we know this from a pasuk? So the Rab writes, "V'nivoyer his chalkusim b'pasuk." Let's explain how they're divided up. In other words, there's some pasuk. Well, the pasuk we're going to see it. He said, "V'karto chasamim harei shnayim." So that phrase that counts for 2. Kabosha kasav chazal b'gemara. What are the 2? He said the 2 are Tiferes and Netzach. So he said, Kachel Samim. Samim is plural. So it means 2. Which are the 2? Those are the 2 we're talking about, Tiferes and Netzach. Nalta for Shchenes v'Chalvanot. Those 3. Heim Sod, Hod, Yisod, Umalchus. So now you have the lower 5 spheros here. He says you have Tiferes, Netzach, Hod, Yisod, Umalchus. Varechem Chamesh, Spheros Tachtonos. These are that's them. And besides the fact, because of the fact that the last nitzuts, this spark of kedusha, which is inside of the kali, is actually in the lowest part of the kali, which is the kali of malchus, that aspect of the kali, who nitza kedusha l'nekuda ketana mu'etes ma'od. This is a nitza kedusha. The Kuda Ketana, very small Nakuda, Mu'atis Ma'od, and really, really minimized. Yosef Akula more than all of the rest. But the Chain, so therefore, HaKale Goverit B'Mako Mahu, so therefore there's a very powerful Kale over there. L'kach, his Hachel V'Reicha Ra, and then he explains a little bit better here in the Pirush. He says, Hachel V'Reicha Ra comes out with a bad smell. And the fact that it's one of the 11. So he said, so now we'll go back and it reads this way. Samim, the word Samim, Chamisha Samim Acherim. They refer, so he wants to say that there's another time in this pasuk that says the word Samim. This refers to another set of 5. Vukul Moshe Amar Chazal, the Rebbe saying in the Gemara. What's the Gemara says? He said, "V'chein chamesh sfiras elyonos considrum," and in order. What are the 5 upper ones? Which are Keser, Chochmah, Bina, Chesed, and Gevura. So that brings you back down. That's the upper 5. So it says it twice to let you know that you could apply the same rules. Levona zacha, and then pure levona, frank incense. Who's sod or hamakiv lekulam. So since it's not inside of the kali, but it's on the outside, we know it's a much stronger light anyway. Actually, I don't know that it's a stronger light. All I know about it is that it's outside. This light is outside. Normally it's the strongest, and it doesn't get digestion inside of the kali. So therefore it's called pure. Masha came ba'or benimi, which is not a mugvara b'tocha kali, which is swallowed into the club, is bounded by the kali, so it's not pure. Just like the same thing. Let's come back now and let's look at the. I think we're over here on page Tov Kuf Mem Ches. We'll look at the Matak Medavash and let's see what he has to say. Not Medavash, the Tiv rather. He says, number Lamed Aleph. He says, Harav Mevoyer Sidron Shal Echad Asa Oras Anim Soim Bakali, Shehem Eser Oras Benimi Be'echad Or Makif, which we said, Kafi Seder His Chalkusan B'Torah B'Parshas Ketoret. How is it, in fact, that they're divided up? Where do we see their count? Samim kul lashon rabim, so it's plural. V'meuda rabim heim shnayim. So v'lechein tevis samim ramezes al shnei mini samim v'heim ramazim al shtei orus v'nimim. There are 2 interior lights. Okay, we have a little break here from Hashem, and so reminding everybody because of this difficult time that we're in. Oh my goodness! Say your Tehillim, pray to Hashem, talk out loud to Him. Here we go. We're coming back again, and there we go. So this is what the Gemara says. This is a quote. That Moshe Besidim Amar Rav Huna. So Rav Huna says back. He's on this. Rav Huna says. He said. Oh, so I guess Rav Huna. So I guess this is Rabbi Yochanan, who's an Amora. Amar Rav Huna b'may kor. What's the pasuk? Kach l'hosamim trey. Not of Shchedet v'Chalvanot, those 3, Heim Chamesha. V'samim Achrini Chamesha, then this is the actual lush of the Gemara. Asara, that makes 10. V'Halavoina Zaka, so this Voina, this pure frank incense, he said, Hu Chad Srei, makes 11. V'Shnei Ha'oras HaBenimi HaMeramazah B'Tevis Samim, those 2 lights that are in the inside. He says, let's keep an account here. Him spheres, the Ferris, and spheres, Netzach. So he said the summon is those 2. So he's telling us that the Kali has 10 places, 10 slots inside of it also. It also processes this light, gives it energy, just like any parts of. Not of ku echa or benimi shall spheres ahod. V'shchelas hu or panimi shall spheres yisod v'chelvana hu or panimi shall spheres malchus. So he goes through a little bit more detail. Hare ad ato. So he says until this point. Let's see the sharam zarabeter the chamesh spheres achronis. So that really the reference here is to the 5 lower spheros shehem samim, which are really actually called, it goes with the 2, which is the Hamaraz and the Tveres and Netzach. Not the Shchet of the Hamaraz or the Hod Yisod and Malchus. Going on the other side of the page, he says, B'kevin shel orcha benimi shuchel chusfiris malchus shalakali. So since the interior light, which is a light inside, in the spheres of malchus, which is the Malchus of the Kali, who the sphere Achronu shall call the spheres, that is the Malchus of who begam the Kuda Katana Muhata Va'od, as we said. Yosef Bishar spheres, it's the smallest one. So therefore it can't defend itself, that we want to say. And so therefore It's a place where the Kali really can get a hold. So he says, so therefore, Chelvada has a bad smell. It smells because of what's overpowering it. So he says, Akali, Akali, and then he says, V'chagam she'af ha'chel v'dachani b'klal yod al simam v'dachiteres kedusha, ak he or b'nitzos kadosh, v'chavabudach b'sech svirus malchus dekali, and that's what you have in malchus v'keven shel svirus malchus dekali miskaveres b'kakali, miskaveres akali. It causes the kali to be much stronger because it's like being surrounded. וכן גם החל וניצוץ לקדושה שישנו שם ריח raw. It smells like the kali. It smells stinks because all the kali are found there. הנה נזכרו בפסוק שני פעמים סמים. הראשון הוא כך וכל סמים והשני בדרך בגמור שהם שניים. והשניים בנזכר לאחר מכן וכו'. So that's going to say Vasheni, excuse me, the second time it says Samin. V'hu kach l'kol Samim notosh v'chelet v'chel v'nosamim. So let's take that v'yinech v'kan nizkru chamisha Samim shem shlosh shal nota v'chelet v'chel v'nocha v'od shnayim v'ramaz v'samim. So v'samim marisha shem b'yachad chamisha, put them together you get 5. V'ata tevis samim, so now we take the word samin, which is plural shniya, because it says the word samin a second time. V'ala hosif od chamisha chamesh keneged kulam. V'lechein the samim asheni hu akre tevis v'chelvana. If it comes out after the second time you say it, it comes out of the. I think he's going to bring the pasuk here for me, so I don't have to look it up. Akre tevis v'chelvana heim chod sod chamesh samim achevim el yonim. That's what they are. There's another set of 5. Achamisha semamadam ramaza b'tevis samim shniya hema orcha b'nimach animsa b'chamesh spheres al yonas kasidron hema ramaza b'chamesh spheres al yonas kasidron ramazan b'orcha b'nimach animsa b'chamesh spheres al yonas. And this is really a reference. The second time it says the 5 upper spheres, the kalish hem kasser chach b'bina chesed the gevura the kalish. Uvazos nishlev b'kol oris b'nimium v'nimsoim b'eses spheres the kali. So ba'ofen sha'levonel zako. So it comes like this, and now we have 5 and 5. We have the upper 5, we have the lower 5. Ba'ofen sha'levonel zako. This one, Romez al or hamakiv al kol eses spheres the kali. B'kevin sha'levonel. Romezes ala or hamake va'omer b'chutz l'kali, v'enda nikna b'fnim b'soch hakali b'sod or panimi, ala hu rak b'sod or hamake v'chutz. He says, zeh hatam anikra levona zacha daika, so this is why it's called specifically by that name. He says, v'zocha, shuhu loshan zach, pure. Because the light that comes from that ain't to make it schmutzed up. So it's outside. So a little bit more, he says, which is not the case, but the 10 simonim that we find up above, we find previously. So let me see where we're at. He says, so the we're still okay. They're not called that. We don't stick that name Zochim on them. Now let's read this little piece here and see if we can get through that. So now we come to a section which was called Tam Lama Hamachshefim Ozeches Beketoret. I do have some sphere. I never saw anybody do this, but I've been in many houses, several houses where the women that were living there were bruchas. They were witches, and they had big rooms full of all kinds of good stuff in there. And here we see it. V'zeh tavim tam nifla al kol hamachshefim. Amachtirim el kale al yonim. There's just a little story on the side when my wife and I always we wanted to get some chickens. I had a farm once, so I wanted to get some chickens. So you look around and you see, well, what is a pet store that sells chicken? So I go into the Cuban area, and there's a pet store there that sells chicken. Not only does chicken, but he also sells goats, all kinds of different kind of wood that I've never seen before, and just on and on and on. It was a Santeria shop, but they also sold chicken. So I got some chicks. That's my original introduction to the Santeria. So, okay, we got a little bit break. I thought I would say something, something a little anecdote about that. Okay, so he said, "Call him Machshefim." So let's go. But Bezer Tavin Tam Nifla Al Call him Machshefim, Machtirim Al Kalach Al Yonos. That a sacrifice to the upper calling. So the main thing that they put in this is what he says is levona. And it's more important to them than all the rest of the Ketoret. In order to be able to get that particular untouched light, the pure light, that's what they want. Let's go to here number mem test down below. Read the tiv. The v'zer she'ba'arda malku in yanim shal halavona. He said b'tavin tam nifla mifnei ma machshev v'machtirim as akalim. Mishtam shem b'levoida rebedaka be'ikar haktor seichem l'avodah. So this is really the main thing, is that they want to use alvona. V'cholocha b'samon v'nemechever, not other ones. This is the one they want. As a kali, so he says the bona, that is more precious to them. But Yosef Hatam Shalamaktirim the kali wrote a daika as halabona, whom Bishum who wrote saying the Hanskos mina or Makif Hazen, Shul Halabona Shaomer Bepchutz and Makif the kali and Karkobus over the kali. So this is where we'll stop right now. We got a little insight in there into what's so precious. I don't know whether or not the Cuban santeros had any incense over there. I wasn't looking for incense, but you couldn't miss the wood that they had, because of weird wood. Okay, so let's move over. Let me see to the Sifra Tzniut.